It's Tuesday here at the America First Warehouse. I am Joe the Box.
And I'm John the Blanket.
And I'm Freddie Bubble Wrap.
Lisa. Actually, yeah, my team here is fantastic. We rehearsed that, but they all fell apart on me on that one. America First Warehouse is the most patriotic venue in all the land. And this particular podcast is picked up by many people at X. Our averages are pretty incredible. When the show gets done, we look at the numbers, and we're averaging about 10,000, I believe. Dan can probably correct me on that, but don't here at the warehouse. But what I really loved is I saw that the Real America Voice has a podcast promo, and they on their website, and you can see that this particular show, you guys, this is breaking news, is between Charlie Kirk and Steve Bannon.
Wow.
Is that incredible?
I'd like to see them fight it out.
Well, I think that's happening, too.
Topless.
Top billing, I say. You're in the gutter again this morning. Way to go.
I'd like to see Steve Bannon topless.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Well, Freddie had a couple hours in traffic this morning, so I guess that's what he's got going on with him, Bubble Wrap, right? Tell me what's going on with you, Freddie.
Well, the Belt Parkway is under construction since I'm 9 years old. When are they going to finish it? There were so many potholes. I lost like a filling coming here. I don't know what goes on in New York where the tax dollars go, but it's not towards fixing the roads. I can tell you that.
I even heard through the news today that the bridge going to Jones Beach Theater is a little bit in trouble, too.
Oh, no.
Trouble.
Oh,
you know, either a bridge is up or it's down. There's no like in between.
Well, they're worried about it. I don't know what they're going to wind up
What do
doing.
they say? Like go really fast so you clear like the holes in it?
Yeah.
We could be the last car that gets over it, you know, because we do enjoy down at the beach down there lately. My sons and I, he has a path, approval to take his truck on the beach. I couldn't believe it.
Stuff.
Only in America. Hey, to the far right over here is my friend Lisa. And Lisa has been out on about the town, and she's a real family girl, and she is very educated on what's happening. And she ran into somebody that called her Lisa.
Uh-huh. Yep. So
How was
I wanna
that?
say, big hello to Anne-Marie. That was awesome to meet you this past week. And it was so cool to see that people out on the street are recognizing all the hard work we do here at the America First podcast.
But I get recognized a lot, too. They keep thinking I'm Joe the Box. I said, no, I'm not.
I've been called Lisa too. So I don't know.
Hey, listen,
I see it.
The warehouse just got off over an incredible weekend. Every Friday night here, the Studio 6B does their show live. And my team and I, the team itself, really, I don't do too much with it, but they restack the warehouse in order to accommodate the show on Friday night. The First Lady and I and the American First Warehouse team offers this night out, Friday night, a great night for everybody, for free.
Yes, it's a great venue. What a great show. It's on Monday through Fridays, but Friday night's the best. And people come down and they get interviewed and speak their piece. So it's not a closed environment. It's an open environment. And what a great show. I watched it twice already this weekend, too.
Yeah, well, one day maybe we'll have you here, Johnny, as a guest on there, too, and you can speak to the crowd as well. But
Didn't we have our good friend Tom Wehrman there this past Friday? Wasn't he flexing hard?
Yeah, he had the duplicate to the Trump statue back here.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
He was, very good. And he
See,
had some
Lisa
great
was
things
one
to
of
say.
the 10,000 people that watched that. That was great. So, yeah, Tom Wehrman. So, actually, that show reaches about 35 million viewers.
Wow.
Between all of their channels.
That's awesome.
That's a good one.
You know, to know.
How come I'm not on that one?
So I hope they all watch it on Friday night as well. You know what I mean? That's when we get.
You know, it helps, Freddie, if you come here on a Friday night, because that's when the show
Friday
is.
night. If I have to leave
Thursday.
today, I have to leave today to get back here.
Can we get another couch in here for Freddie? Maybe he could take a nap over here for the
There
next
should
show.
be accommodations.
Yeah.
There are accommodations for our friends. Bubble Wrap.
Hotel podcast soon. That's what
I'll sleep in the vet.
Listen, those seats, they don't kick back too far, the 1980. There wasn't very much amenities in those cars other than the new engine, which really calmed down. From Johnny Boy has the 79, and that thing is all over, jumps.
It's a monster.
The torque is
I
unbelievable.
like the old bench seats.
The bench seat. You like the ones that
They bring
face
me back.
backwards. Like Freddie Bubble Wrap. Oh, and you know who else knows an awful lot about automobiles? Lisa. She likes the spoiler. Am I correct on
It was
that?
the fin, wasn't it? The
Oh,
fin.
the fin. That's right. It's the fin. Hey, do we have any pictures of the car show from this weekend that we can bring up and maybe talk about? You have 2 of them. All right. Let's bring them both up, maybe one at a time or both together. I'm not sure. Check this out. This was out in the backyard, in the back of the warehouse, the America First warehouse. On Saturday, we did this, and this is a line of real muscle cars. They didn't get inside. In the warehouse, we had 9 more cars. We got to get some pictures. You can see those pictures on the website too, theamericafirstwarehouse.com. And there's the
nothing
other
more
shot
beautiful.
of it.
Nothing
Look-
more beautiful than a classic car.
Well, dude, look at this over here, Freddie. You might recognize these cars on the left side. In this picture is the police cars from 1970.
What was
my
it a bag of those back then?
Well, I was going to say, Johnny, if you might not recognize the outside as much
No,
as you might
well,
recognize
show
the
the
back.
inside.
And I couldn't tell him it wasn't me, it was my brother, but they still took me in.
Yeah, and you did tell him it was your brother.
Of course.
Yeah, so what a great day that was. We tried to raise some money for 2 police organizations. One of them, Johnny Schwartz, he does the cars, the police cars themselves in honor. One of the police officers that was shot and killed in that car was redone.
Oh,
One
my
of the
God.
6 cars, yeah. Pretty incredible how much people love this country, especially on that side. The policemen and women that were in here this weekend, which, by the way, is a full carry, open carry permit here as far as I'm concerned at the warehouse. Freddie, you're packing, aren't you?
I've been told that many times, but
Yeah, bubble
thanks
wrap.
Thanks for noticing.
Goodness, Freddie.
No, I'm not. I'm just happy to see you.
do you have do we have the clip from Tom Holman straightening out the heckler at the SAS? Did we get that one?
We've got it. We should have there as an asset. Can we pull that one up?
Yeah, this one's pretty interesting. Tom Holman spoke at Charlie Kirk's Action in Orlando, Florida. And here's what he had to say from a heckler.
And you're such a badass. Meet me off stage in 13 minutes and 50 seconds. I guarantee you, he sits down to pee. Guaranteed.
Wow.
Well, listen, that brings up the topic that I wanted to bring up in the first segment. Men who sit down to pee. Any thoughts on that, Johnny Blanket?
I do know that my dad, the Marine, my son, the Marine, they had told me that they weren't allowed to stand up in the beginning until they were men. That that's the way they treat them. That wasn't. You guys aren't men until you pass the thing that you have to go through to become a Marine. But before
So you
that,
think
they
that
had to
some of these
sit.
guys that didn't make Marines, so they couldn't make it as a Marine? Is that what you're telling me?
No, well, it's not easy to be a Marine, but like I said, you're a lady until you become a Marine, then you're a man. And they, I don't know why. I think I heard that, and I don't know if it's any kind of truth to it, but Tom Holman lays it out right. And here's a guy that's living in the basement with his mother, and he sits down to pee and want to come up here and talk about it. You want to meet me out on the side? The guy is a badass. I love that guy.
I mean, well, he straight out said, right? You're here, you're heckling me at this event where you're going to be safe for the most part, right? And then he says, you don't have what it takes to be a border agent. Go and that struck a note with me because go get educated. Like, you don't understand what's taking place and the positions that these ICE agents are in and what they're up against.
I think he was on the payroll, though.
Who? The heckler?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, he was incognito, undercover. Nobody knew what he was, wearing his MAGA hat and then disrupting the place, Wouldn't last
On the
too long
payroll
with me
for
next to
some,
him.
right, on the payroll placed there purposefully by these organizations that do that. Absolutely.
To get that
Absolutely.
clip.
That was, I think that's something that we've seen a lot of now, especially with the riots. And they're saying that there was pallets placed purposefully, brick pallets here and there in certain places. Also, with the cannabis issue that brought a lot of this up, where Tom Holman had the ICE agents were in California, and they went to the cannabis farm and they arrested a large number of illegal immigrants there. And what we're understanding is that there were also a lot of minors as well, underage children there as well. And so there too, John, you're right. There were a bunch of protesters. I think upwards, they said, of a couple of hundred. Who had them there? Who knew the ACH would come to have that prep already there. And you're right. They probably were contracted to be there. And then they pelted things. Somebody might have shot a gun, is my understanding. And so the ICE agents do have a very, tough.
If you
tough,
look at
tough
the increase in our military, the people that are signing up for it, proud to be an American, proud to be a police officer. These guys put their life on the line every single day. They don't deserve that. And they want to be proud that what they're doing and making things safe for us out there in the streets. I love our police. I love them.
I'm just happy that when you said sitting to piss, that you didn't go right to me like you usually do. Let's talk about sitting and peeing. Freddie, you went to Johnny?
Yeah, well, I don't want to talk about whatever you're packing.
Well, I was going to go to Lisa because that's how she does it. You know what I mean?
We're hoping, sometimes. But this is the pussification of America. They push men not to be men, and they push women to be more aggressive. Meanwhile, a man can't get to his maximum potential unless he acts like a man. And same thing for a woman. A woman cannot meet her 100% potential unless she embraces her femininity. Femininity.
And they got to know the difference between a man and a woman.
Listen, it's an incredible time to be alive. It's an incredible time to be an American. God is steering this ship, and Donald Trump is his capitone.
Love it. Love it, man. All right, bro.
Who broke the television? Can we laugh at that? Sounds to me.
As of this month, public gay sex will now be mandatory.
Am I the only one that could see his lips move?
Cheekbones, baby.
I'm sorry, maybe I overreacted.
Corporate transfer, fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Welcome, everybody, to the Not So Newlywed Show, where 3 couples are going to compete for really great prizes. Okay, Donna, we asked Mike, who complained first on your honeymoon, you or him?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think he said.
Lisa, this ain't the SATs. Just tell us what. Donna, who complained first on the honeymoon?
I'm sure it was me, but I have no idea.
Donna is right.
No, it's always me.
What celebrity would you pick for a one-day pass?
For me?
Yeah, for you, not for him.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon! Wow! Who do you hate the most on her side? That rotten no.
There are so many choices.
Thank you all, and thank you for coming out.
It's me, Joe the Box.
And I'm John the Blanket with the America First podcast at the America First Warehouse.
The most patriotic venue in all the land.
All of the land, that's for sure. What a great place this is.
Yeah, and the land is coming back to the citizens of the United States. The land was designed with the grace of God, one nation under God, to be a great land mass for people that come in there and love God, love family, minimal government, carry my guns, free speech. It's all over the place. It's the most incredible time to be alive, and we're here in the middle of it. Now, some sanity is all over the place, and we were talking before the break about this insanity of the far left and the fact that no matter that we passed, I believe it might even be in the law of the great big beautiful bill, but executive orders for sure to prevent men from being in women's sports, yet the far left and the far blue states aren't really interested. Lisa, can you expand upon this men-woman problem we got going on?
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting crossroads that we've never seen before in our history. And we know that President Trump stepped forward on it because it had become a very serious issue, especially in blue states such as New York. But Biden had amended the Title IX wording, and that had to go to the Supreme Court as people fought because the wording was definitely too inclusive, right? So we get to the point where being so inclusive becomes restrictive and harms others. So that's the issue we were dealing with. And on August 16th of last year, the Supreme Court held up 2 injunctions stating that men cannot be allowed to identify as a female for the sports, for the locker rooms, and to use the restrooms. Here in New York, we also have a constitution. Every state has their own as well. And Governor Hochul moves forward on also amending our Title IX under H.R. 296, I believe it is, Human Rights Act 296. And she expanded it as well to include 11 protected classes, including age and national origin, so that illegals would be protected as well. As students that are young in school, minors, would be considered discriminated against if the teachers questioned the fact that they may be experimenting with identity and so forth and so on. So it's become a very serious issue impacting females clearly more than men, because you don't see biological females running to participate in male sports. No. You generally see the males who are knocking into the female sports. So we do have an issue, and I know this, runs with Holman's Men Who Sit Down to Urinate, but it definitely calls to mind what is taking place in America today, especially in blue states. Let's emphasize that where we're having this issue.
I would think that most people are logical and normal, and this is the majority of the country that know better, that men do not belong in women's sports, and they should have nothing to do with that. And how terrible it is for a woman that fought and put her whole life and effort into being the best at which she could be in her sport, and could have been the best that she could be, but she got beat by a set of balls. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Freddie?
Speaking of balls, the laws of this country, we have a problem with the judges. I think that's our biggest problem in this country, because all you see are these liberal judges reversing common sense and overstepping their boundaries. But the way I see it, with what makes this country great, is you have the freedom to do anything you want. You want to worship anyone you want. You want to live your life any way you want. But the biggest part of it is, as long as it doesn't infringe on someone else's rights. And the whole trans movement is based on taking rights away from others. Trans people have all the rights anybody else has under the Constitution. They have all the rights. They could do anything I can do. They could go anywhere I could go. But when they start to push that they want to take away the right of a woman to have women's sports, or the right for a woman to be safe in her own bathroom or in their own locker room, that's when it infringes on other people's rights, and that's when it has to stop. I don't care what the issue is. If you're issue is to take away the rights from someone else, that's where it has to stop. But the courts are not backing that
the courts
up.
are ridiculous. They're all paid for, bought and paid for. But these men, these transgender people that are winning these championships in the women's side, are they women castrated, or are they men with still a set of sack on there? I don't understand.
Well, listen, Dr. John, what do I look like? You know, as far as I'm concerned, they're men, okay? They've always been a man. And even though they dress up like a woman and pretend that they are a woman, does not make them a woman. It is disgraceful, despicable. Kathy Holschel shall burn and gnash her teeth. You know where she's going. We at the America First Warehouse are not going to put up with any of that garbage. We only like the truth, and that's all we push for. And I'm not going to put up with the lies. I think that men that find it necessary to sit down to pee, unless they have an emergency, a medical situation, or, maybe, I don't know what the excuse would be on that one.
Maybe you're on a boat and it's rocking. Do all sailors sit and pee? You see, Marines is one thing, but sailors, all right, you got to sit and pee, you sit and pee.
He's got a point.
I'm not going to pick on them, but I am going to tell you about women in the military. And, I saw a clip the other day, and I wish I would have it as an asset. And they followed these 3 or 4 women that were fighter pilots. They were fighter pilots that were able to study and understand and can maneuver that airplane like you wouldn't believe. I think a few of them might have been on the Midnight Hammer beatdown of Iran. And the video is so cool, and it shows out, and not only they're so beautiful too. I was like really taken back. One of them might even been Miss America, which and here she is riding this very sophisticated fighter plane going into battle for your freedom. All right, and they're so beautiful. I was wondering and thinking if Lisa might be a fighter pilot on the side.
Moonlighting.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to, and I really do have to applaud those women. I also am very impressed, honestly, with Israel's recruitment. They make sure that every citizen there has to partake for a time in the military, and I am also very impressed with them. They are often as well. The women there are also fighter pilots, and I think, was it Gabby Tulsard also? Our very own Gabby Tulsard sitting in
Yes.
She was also a
Yes.
fighter pilot, from my understanding. So, women are very capable of amazing things, as we know, and it's shameful. And to John's point, are they castrated, or had they had sex changes? The men who wish to go into these female sports, my understanding is no. And a lot of times they may have had some hormones,
Yes.
but it's never enough to really take away a male's benefit over a female. And I think the biggest case that we all know of is Leah Thompson and Riley Gaines. And Riley Gaines really put it on the map because she was, her medals she was deprived of her achievements because Leah Thomas decided, after years of being a male swimmer, that he was, and losing, not winning, that he was going to transfer to female swimming. And that is when he began to acquire his medals.
Then the things happen fast enough for me because I like to see it a little bit faster. But what I do understand is that they took those medals away from him
Recently.
Yes, I heard that.
I know,
Yeah,
but
true.
sorry to say, I heard that is not accurate.
Wow.
See,
What was the name of that
putting
mission?
no fake
you
news on.
said?
Midnight Hammer?
Midnight.
Midnight Hammer.
I'm going to rent that tonight.
Yeah, you know what?
Is that a pay-per-view?
No, but it stars Nancy Pelosi, husband.
With the hammer.
Mr. Pelosi.
Yeah, Midnight Hammer party.
Hey, come on. You can't.
Nothing to see there.
Yeah, you can't play. How many times has your wife come home and seen you naked with some guy and holding a hammer? Come on, it happens.
They can't even watch television anymore. They got shows out there that was, I don't want to see that stuff. It kind of, it's not normal. We don't need that. And it's just like all these blue states and all these sanctuary cities. Why do we even put up with that? Why would we even fund something that not logical? It's terrible with the sanctuary cities.
Yeah, I think we had an old asset here, actually, maybe a few weeks ago, where Huckle was before Elise Stefanik talking in defense of the sanctuary cities, and actually she fumbled and was really showed that she has obviously no knowledge about what is really taking place in her own state, because Elise asked her 3 names of headline illegals who committed horrendous crimes here in New York, including putting a woman on fire fire on the train, and Hochul did not know the names of any of these illegal immigrants.
And that goes back to saying the illegals come in. What do? They step on the rights of other people, of other Americans. You have poor Americans in the inner cities that money could have went to. Well, you know, how would you feel if you're a homeless family in the inner city and you've been told for 5 years there's no money for you, we can't do anything, and then millions of people come in and they put them up in the best hotels and they give them cards for cash? It's what they did is they infringed on the rights of normal Americans who really need it. That's the problem.
And you're talking about the judicial branch and the decisions that they're making. And what really makes me angry is that they can have a district judge in Massachusetts tell us how the rest of the country should be run. This is why I think their antics and I think what they're trying to do is not going to work. It's going to fail. The Constitution clearly has the separation of powers. The United States citizens clearly have the choice of how they want to live. The United States citizens clearly has an understanding of what their rights are, what their freedoms are, and it comes right here out of the America First Warehouse. AmericaFirstWarehouse.com. Get involved. We are making things happen like you wouldn't believe, like our 22nd intro, Freddie, to the not-so-newlywed game.
September, we are going to have it. If you want to be a contestant on it, if you are a couple that are still together and you haven't filed for divorce yet, call up, come on in, and we will have you on the next game show. It is a fantastic event.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Are you a musician, comedian, actor, filmmaker, or artist who stands for traditional American values? Do you believe in the preservation of our nation, our culture, and our freedoms? If you share our passion for America and want to use your talents to make a difference, we want to hear from you. Our mission is clear. Through the arts, we uphold the principles of freedom, faith, family, and the American spirit. It's time to step up to the mic and make your voices heard. So contact us at AmericanConservativeArtists.com.
Good morning. It's me, Joe the Box, wearing my Border 911 hat signed by Tom Holman, Rodney Scott, and Sarah Carter. The country has had enough. The American Horror Story is over. Border 911. Tom Holman is coming through. My brother's son, my friends' children. We're done with it. 100,000 lost lives every single year. God bless you, Tom.
The Queens Village Republican Club is America's oldest Republican club, founded in 1875. Situated in President Trump's hometown in Queens, New York, we are America First MAGA Republicans, empowering fellow Republicans to get involved in the game of politics at the grassroots level. We host inspiring monthly club meetings on the first Thursday of each month at 8 p.m. For more information, please go to our website at www.qvgop.org.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Hey, we're back. It's Joe the Box.
And John the Blanket with the America First podcast at the America First Warehouse.
The most patriotic venue in all the land.
We're
right,
pretty
Freddie?
good at it.
Absolutely.
Freddie
This
Bubble?
is the place. If you are patriotic, this is the place to be. Like you said, on Fridays, Saturdays, check in with the AmericaFirstWarehouse.com. Come and just be a part of it. Anybody could be a part of it. That's what's so great about this place. You could just come, sit, have a drink, participate. You know, you're always getting people involved.
I want to correct you, Freddie. I have to correct Freddie.
Go ahead.
Because not everybody is coming into the America First Warehouse. If you don't see truth and you don't understand truth and you think you're going to come in here and tell me a fake lie about any of the lies that you've already done, you're not welcome into the house.
And our strict rules here at the America First Warehouse is loving our country, loving our president, loving our family, at first loving our Jesus, our Lord. But you love America, this is the place to go. And I don't think that we've ever had a heckler come up that Joe Jr. had a hit with the flag or anything like that. We don't have that issue because I think they're afraid to mess with us here at the America First Warehouse. Not that we're not inviting it.
They run in packs. They're cowards.
They, you know.
Well, listen, we're going to bring in Tom Tatum. He knows very much about the cowards and the way these radical left operates. Tommy, how you doing? Thanks for coming back to the show. You are in Studio C.
Do you have a mic on?
Great,
There
Tom.
we go.
You got your mic on, Tommy?
Can you hear me now,
Not
Joe?
coming in yet.
We're good to go.
Here you go.
So glad to be here. Your Studio C is the official name, but I think we've deemed it unofficially the Freedom Bunker. So glad to have a spot to carry out the operations from.
The Freedom Bunker, Tommy Tatum News. You've been throwing a lot of great stuff and sharing a lot of work that we're doing here at the warehouse, Tommy.
Absolutely. Just glad to have a venue who actually cares about the truth and the real American patriots to get it out there to the real people.
We found that the January 6ers that were down there, most of them regular human beings like us that had wanted to express their rights down there on January 6th. We were all arrested. We were beaten. We were thrown in jail, many of us. Sarah Carpenter, my beautiful friend, had the tools of a tiny Jesus, a tambourine, and a rosary bead was her weapons of choice as she went into that Capitol. But the courts have been really one-sided, Tommy. The courts like Boasberg in particular that can jail all of the J6s yet and stop an injunction or a executive order from the president. What say you on this craziness?
It's funny that you should mention Boasberg because I actually waived my Fifth Amendment rights in a January 6th who I had not known before named Brian Mock in June of 23. And Boasberg was the judge. And I told him, and I literally said, I quote unquote, I witnessed the murder of Roseanne Bullen by D.C. Metro cop Lila Morris. And Boasberg literally called me a liar before I got the words all the way out of my mouth. So it gets a little personal. And I can and we were talking about the pardons earlier. I don't know if we're going to talk about that later, but I have a couple of thoughts I can share about that as well.
Yeah, please do. Let's stay focused on the J6. So now, were all of the J6 pardoned?
All except maybe 10 or 12. And I know that a couple of these Proud Boys, like are Oath Keepers, did not get the full pardons. And I'm thinking in my mind, I really can't think of a reason that I know as to why they didn't get them. They got commutations instead.
Now Biden was able to pardon
all the people on the
tens of thousands, I think, of criminals.
Well, every person that was on the board to prosecute all the J6 peoples all got pardons as well.
Yeah, that's why I say that's what I was meant by how it can get kind of personal, because I sat through a lot of these trials with Nicole Reffitt, who's the wife of the first January 6th, and we all lived with Ashley Babbitt's mother for like a year. And what we witnessed in those courtrooms, I'm telling you, when the average people would come to D.C. and witness it for themselves, they lost all faith in the system, rightfully so, because it was a corrupt system. And now to find out that I think this is a bigger issue of, I think the entire Biden presidency is illegitimate. And all of these people that he put into position to go on and lie about us and throw my friends in prison and keep them from their families for years while they were being tortured into unjust guilty pleas or ridiculous sentence. Like Enrique Tarrio got 20 years in prison. He was not even in D.C. And I was talking to a gentleman earlier today, and there's lots of people in this country who doesn't realize that American patriot citizens who were there to protest a stolen election died that day as a result of what the police did to them. So that's getting back to you, Joe, and all you guys here. That's why I'm sincerely grateful for the opportunity to tell the world what happened.
You know, when I look at so many of the videos that you pushed out on January 6th, and you see the great patriots waving flags, praying, singing songs, and then you go to California where they're up in arms about ICE wearing a mask, right. And yet these crazy. Criminals running up to the side of an ICE van with a big stone to throw through the window, and when I saw them, I know the police inside wanted to stop and beat the hell out of them. I know it. I know they wanted to get out and even shoot them, tase them, whatever. But they weren't allowed to at the time. But I believe, and maybe Lisa knows all the facts on this, are they allowed to run over the protesters now, and are they allowed to?
In Florida, they're allowed.
Lisa's voice got very deep all of a sudden.
Well, I knew the answer to that one. I couldn't wait.
No, but I think even ICE is now allowed to stop and arrest these guys.
Trump,
there's definitely an improvement. Definitely an improvement in how these protesters, which again, I want to reflect on John's comment earlier that perhaps that they are contracted or paid for, because it is odd how they show up in numbers in certain places with certain materials ready to go. And so I think that a lot of us are, a lot in government, in like DeSantis had said, well, now we're going to start striking back. So please continue what you had to say.
Tommy, can you fill me in a little bit on the J6 community? Are they as one, or is this? I know there's some fractured pieces in there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
For the main part, the way I describe it is this: we're pretty much a solid unit. There are J6ers who don't like each other, obviously, but there's 1,600 human beings, and they do represent a cross section of all of America. However, I do like to say that the ones you see online the most, good or bad, they represent about 10% of the rest of the entire movement. And I say those are the ones who don't necessarily feel the need to go out on the internet all the time and make comments. And also, there are a lot of J6ers that are getting in touch with me with their first-time stories. Maybe they got pardoned 6 months ago. They've been sitting back, watching, taking in, seeing who they think is telling the truth about what represented that day. And they're starting to come forward with their true stories. So we will be highlighting a lot of those stories.
Tommy, who's the biggest name fighting for the J6 community at this moment in time in Washington from congressional position?
It's hard to quantify that because in certain ways they do good. But I will say this. Matt Gaetz is no longer in Congress. I'm hoping that there's a special prosecutor appointed for this entire situation, which a couple of weeks ago Donald Trump did announce on Twitter, the House admin, that they are going to have a new J6 committee. I personally want to end up on there. To answer your question, who's the number one? I hope Matt Gaetz ends up in Congress because Matt Gaetz actually showed up to Freedom Corner with Ashley Babbitt's mother, did the vigil for over 3 years. He showed up. He was the only Congress member at the time to show up and show us support. So I would love to see him brought back in as a special prosecutor for the January 6th Church Committee, as I'm dubbing it.
I believe that some of the people that they had on that committee that Joe Biden pardoned their pardons might be removed.
I hope.
Well, the auto pen got a little messed up over there, so he doesn't remember. I think he said it yesterday. Biden got out there to defend himself and said, "I don't remember signing for all those people.
Right.
I don't know who those people are."
Right.
So I don't sure what's going to happen. Of course, we'd like to see it happen right away, but what I understand that it will be up to the president that's in charge now that will make those decisions whether those pardons are acceptable or not, because they're the ones that be sitting in solitary confinement, for lying to us.
If you don't mind, I'll jump in. So it's John, believe me, my congressman, where I'm from in Mississippi, the murder capital of the country, believe it or not, the Mississippi Delta, my congressman is Benny Thompson, and Benny Thompson was the chair of that very committee you're talking about, John. So I see God using this entire thing for lots of good to be done around the country.
I am personally all excited about it. I wanted to just bring attention to the artwork that is behind John. If you can go to John's shot, and Johnny just move to the side, either side. There you go, a little further. Behind John is the only portrait of Joe Biden that we have in the entire warehouse. And Scott Lebedo captured the essence of the empty suit that Joe Biden is. And the wonderful thing about that piece, which I am willing to sell at the best offer, it has been auto-penned signed.
Allegedly. It could have been someone else. Have you noticed that with all the January 6th outrage about people stormed the Capitol and, they did damage to this and that, all the nonsense. Still, there was a person who planted pipe bombs, 2 pipe bombs in front of the Capitol. They have him on film doing it. They know that he went into the subway after it. He had a Metro card that he swiped that is easily traced. Not one investigation has been launched to find that guy, who probably could have caused the most carnage from the whole thing. But yet, if you were really concerned that there was going to be damage that day, you don't pursue that at all. And in fact, it hasn't been brought up maybe for the last 2 years. Something's fishy. Mm-hmm.
Well, Fishy is their middle name, Joe Fishy Bribin, and the whole Joe Bribin lies. Yeah, man, it's like almost hard to really understand. But here at the America First Warehouse, we do understand. Tommy, I'm going to ask you to stick around for the last one. I want to talk about the J6 homes that are down there. Gary McBride, M5 News, Jenny McCutt from the home, and we love you. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
Corrupt judges, broken families, families torn apart. This isn't justice. If you've been wronged by the system, join us. Don't stand alone. Hi, I'm Gary Jacobs, president of Americans for Legal Reform. We're the oldest legal reform group in the United States. The justice system in the United States should be transparent, fair, and open to everybody and accessible. Unfortunately, many times that's not the case. At Americans for Legal Reform, we are here to help. Join the movement. Visit AmericansForLegalReform.com and help reform the system before it fails you.